And we can sort of figure out where on that spectrum of Downton Abbey to Game of Thrones we want to go. Yeah, and like maybe one character is on more of the Downton Abbey end of the spectrum, and someone else is more like caught up in some political shenanigans on the Game of Thrones side of the spectrum. Of it's really all it's going to be in the end is that this is a game that is about the characters wanting to make a change in their life for whatever reason, personal reasons, ideological reasons, and we're going to watch them sort of pursue those. Those goals. Yeah, and that's kind of the summary, I guess, of the hack.
Awesome.
Should we get started?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And just to note, we're going to be wrapping up probably around 8:30, and we'll take a quick break, I guess, around 7 o'clock or so. Sound good?
Pacific time?
Yes, Pacific time. Cool. Okay, let's get started. Is everyone in Roll20 right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Woohoo. Okay, OBS out of the way. Okay, so I gave everyone fate points. I hope you like your colors. We can always change them later.
I'm obsessed with my color.
Awesome.
My color is what actually gave me the inspiration for my character concept. So.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
How do I know who's who?
Color
Like who's tokens?
I can put names above all of them right now. So DC is like the golden kind of orangey color, and then Nox, you're next to it with the sort of like steely blue, and then Amir is purple, and Dylan is blue. And then and then I also have some too for the beginning for this game creation part of it. So I'm the green one, so over down at the end.
If you want to make your little color at the bottom match the color of your little fate point, you can click on the little square next to your name and it will let you change the color. And I can actually, I have a tool in Chrome. I can sample what the color is and tell you what the hex code is for your color.
Fancy.
Look at you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm a graphic designer. I have to have these things.
That is awesome.
Cool. I didn't know that's how you change that color. That's good to know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So,
Yeah. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be spending these fate points to sort of create details about the world that we're playing within, which is a really cool idea that actually a lot of my ideas around fate were sort of inspired by this one article that I found written by this gentleman named David Goodwin, who has designed some games for Fate. And I really wanted to get some more ideas around running a game that's more social, more PC driven, and he had written exactly that. And so his post really inspired me to sort of explore this more. But the one thing that he did mention is that he gave everyone fate points to buy story elements into the game, and I really liked that, and I think it's a fun way to build the world together. And if we run out of fate points, we can take more too. But it's just a good way to sort of keep the scope kind of small to start. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the setting creation. I'm almost interested to know what you guys were thinking for characters so that we can sort of know how to build the world around that. So Nox, do you want to sort of share what you were thinking about?
Yeah. So, I guess this would be like okay, I don't know what it would be like, but, yeah, so the idea I had for a character, is, a knight, a female knight.
Okay.
And I just have this, like the order of knights she belongs to, are the Knights of the Rose.
Cool.
Which has like obvious connections to like, Beauty and the Beast, for example. So I don't know if like that will be like a direct connection. Could even have some kind of connection to like Snow Whitey type stuff. Even if like there's no like direct interaction with those people, but if this is like an order that has grown out of some influence from these figures, far off in history or whatever. So that's kind of the idea that I had, and that's really it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a good starting place. Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah, I really like that. Dylan, what was your idea that you were sort of thinking about?
Okay, so I have an aspect, I think, as a core aspect that will probably lead into some significant explanation. So the aspect is Lady of the Sun, Wolf of the Moon.
Nice.
And then the story behind that is this character, I don't have a name for her yet, is or was a wolf who fell in love with a human. But knowing that wolves are beasts of the night and people are beings of the day, she like beseeched the sun to turn her into a person, and the sun did so. However, the moon was sort of angered by the theft of one of her children, and so cursed my character so that one, any being she touches, she slowly steals the life from them. Although I think this is a thing only she knows and people don't necessarily notice.
Mm-hmm.
And two, if moonlight touches her, then she turns into a wolf for the rest of the night until sunlight.
So cool.
That's cool.
That is beautiful.
I'm into that. That's amazing,
Awesome.
Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Thanks, I thought of it in the shower.
Which, judging by your wet hair, was like 15 minutes ago.
Yep.
Seriously though, that is the hubbub of good ideas.
Well,
Thank you.
good thing this is a no pants role playing session. So, because apparently all
gonna be
the
the
best
tagline
ideas
for-
come when you don't have pants on, right? So
Yeah.
Is that the tagline now for Pen and Paper Pals? No pants
roll.
needed.
I think you actually need to change the channel to No Pants Gaming
Yes.
or No Pants RPG, something like that.
That is.
I'm in my
we got
element.
some views. There. Yeah.
Pen and Pantsless Pals.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. Oh my
So,
gosh.
I actually had an idea for a character,
Okay.
and I think the more I think about it, the more I'm getting into it.
Okay.
So I think my character would be would have started out as like a farmer boy or something very plain, but ended up on like an Indigo Montoya tour of becoming like the greatest swordsman.
Okay.
And probably because in the world, the way that politics work is that you either have the lineage or you have like power in some way.
Right.
And so because of the conditions of maybe like the town that he was in, or he saw like the difference between the people who maybe like people traveled through a lot and you saw a lot of royalty and knights, maybe the Knights of the Rose. And in all of the stories and fables, it's always someone very powerful shows up. And so it's because he didn't have lineage, he went out into the world being like, I'm going to be the greatest swordsman so that I can protect whatever from all of these, all of the political issues, all of the potential fairy tale craziness. Like,
Cool.
but he has no affiliation to like knights orders or governments. He's just like the wandering swordsman kind of guy.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice. Yeah,
That's
that's
really cool.
That sounds great. And like as we create our setting and everything too, I'm sure like more ideas will sort of percolate in as to where your character sort of fits into the cultures of the world and stuff too.
Yeah.
So Amir, you don't have to feel any pressure to like come up with the character. But
No, you know what? I have a seed of an idea.
Okay.
But because what Knox was saying with regards to Knights of the Rose and reminded me of Beauty and the Beast, and honestly what Dylan was saying about like the color of his fate points, like deciding what he would sort of do. I sort of had an idea of a sorceress who was a shapeshifter. It reminded me of the beginning of Beauty and the Beast, and I feel like her goal is to sort of right the wrongs of the world and the kingdom, and to sort of transform the people into what they fear the most until they are able to learn from that and be able to sort of overcome their own fears and shortcomings into a proper form of morality, and then they can become their true selves.
Whoa.
That is the coolest thing I have ever heard in my life.
You're gonna have to write that
DC,
down.
thank you for that beautiful validation.
Oh, super cool.
So that makes me think of something. I don't know if this is like a structured setting creation or if we're just like spitballing right now, but
It's fine. There is a structure, but like this is cool, and I'm happy with this too.
Okay. So in my mind, I see like two different avenues for this.
Okay.
One, it could be the Knights of the Rose are related to Snow White in some way, which would be like its own thing. Or if it is related to Beauty and the Beast, what if there's like these like somewhat like faction or nation or groups of people that are at odds, and the sorceress comes from one, and then my character coming from Knights of the Rose comes from the other. And then if we want to explore things like propaganda and untruths, that could very naturally like fit into that relationship of like, but we were told you're one way, or not actually, and WTF. I don't know.
Cool. I think
That's very cool.
I think the second one sounds really cool. I like the idea of using those sort of like really popular stories as like the glimmer of inspiration for things, for sure. I think it's a really good way to like have like story prompts and stuff without having to like be super married to the like original story.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that sort of like Beauty and the Beast. There's some kind of faction thing, and yeah, I'm into that. Yeah. Should we go through setting creation in through the steps? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. So the first step that I put out here was to create at least 2 cultures for the world, but I think we should do 3, because 3 makes things a little bit more interesting and not so like binary.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe we should start with one of those cultures that you were talking about, Knox. Maybe the culture that you belong to, and we can all sort of spitball ideas about the laws that belong to those people, the industries, the traditions of those people, certain like societal quirks, things like that.
Dylan!
Hey, there's Dylan.
No!
Oh,
What?
Oh, it was like just a moment.
Yeah.
He's back.
Oh, yay.
He's back,
Okay.
baby.
Hi, Dylan.
Hold on. I have
Handsomeness
a
plus
suspicion.
5.
I have a suspicion. If I move my window over here, does it stop working, or is it still working?
It's there's nothing.
You're-
You
It's
froze.
frozen.
You're frozen again.
It doesn't like
wait,
being on a secondary monitor.
Oh, now it's working
That's
perfectly.
what it is.
That's
Of
a good-
course, because that makes sense.
Yay! There you are.
The more you know, Skype people.
Amazing.
If you're using Skype, stop. Okay, that's my advice. Just stop.
Also, don't get pancakes from that place.
Get the red velvet.
Skype is a flawless product.
Yeah. Okay. Let's come up with let's come up with our first culture then. So there is an order. I want to go with the knights. I think wherever these knights are from. Let's use that as our jumping off point.
Okay.
Do you have any ideas of like what kind of culture they might come from?
So I really like DC's ideas about like you either you obtain power either through like your lineage, or you have to go out and get it yourself. So I think the knights. Okay, I'm gonna reach back into teenage years, and in the young adult fiction that I really enjoyed. I think that it's just it's like a knight academy. It pulls from some of the wealthier families of some prestige. So that means that my knight lady would, be of some prestige. They don't discriminate based on gender. So anyone is welcome to come in. So as far as like